Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now January 4th of 2022, and ever since the very end of The Mandalorian Season 2 and The Bad Batch, a lot of Star Wars fans have truly been working up to Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, George Lucas, and exactly what they're holding behind their backs to really debut to the fans on Star Wars Celebration Day. That's going to be a big event coming this May that's going to have all of the new Star Wars TV shows, be it live action or animated. And of course, we're also going to be learning more about what's to come for the new Star Wars universe with the books, the novels, and the comics, and how that all ties together directly into those Star Wars movies and TV series. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do make sure to post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really make sure to interact with you guys further. So we're now in a very interesting time of Star Wars. We are approaching the golden years of Star Wars for sure. You know, tomorrow is going to be the release of the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 2. After that, you know, we have a couple of episodes, remaining until early February. Again, let's not forget that the Book of Boba is slightly shorter than The Mandalorian Season 1 and 2, running at 7 episodes long. So when we go ahead and examine everything related to what's been going on behind the scenes between Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, George Lucas, Bob Chapek, the Disney CEO, who's really pulling all the strings here and allowing everything to happen, we also know that Kathleen Kennedy, as an individual who is working on the Acolyte series with Leslie Headland, is still having a lot of trouble with that show, a lot of setbacks, and that's exactly why they have to get the ball rolling. Now, of course, a lot of fans, including myself, are not really looking forward to that show. But, needless to say, we also know the fact that Disney CEO Bob Chapek is having a lot of trouble trusting Kennedy with that project. So, moving beyond this, alright, with both Disney and Lucasfilm beginning to work on the Ahsoka series by this April, and getting ready to also finish up the Kenobi series before they begin promoting it this March, both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are currently focused on finishing The Mandalorian Season 3, where one big plan that Disney CEO Bob Chapek is said to have in stock is described to involve a plan to get a new president to replace Kathleen Kennedy over at Lucasfilm. Now, further, it's described that Lucasfilm is planning out all of their options right now for what they can do to replace Kathleen Kennedy as soon as possible. However, some of the board members over at Disney wanted Kathleen Kennedy to stay, which made the process harder for 2021. However, recently more of the Disney higher-ups and board members are now on board with moving to replace Kathleen Kennedy with a new Lucasfilm president by the end of 2022. Disney is beginning to restructure their overall plan to choose between Jon Favreau and 2 other candidates to take over the Lucasfilm company. Now, one thing that Disney has in store that is described to be very effective and will make the fans happy is that Disney is pushing for George Lucas to take over Lucasfilm temporarily this year to handle the business end of Star Wars by the beginning of the fall of 2022. So let me just stop right here for a second. You guys may recall that we talked about this lightly a couple of months ago toward the tail end of 2021, and a lot of that was having, a lot of brick walls going against it because a lot of the higher-ups over at Disney, many of the board members, began to really want to keep Kathleen Kennedy in store over at Lucasfilm. Now, obviously, things are turning around again because of what happened with the Acolyte series and what's still going on with the Acolyte series. Let this sink in for a moment. The Acolyte series was supposed to begin filming by the end of last year. Alright, so by the very end of 21, the Acolyte series was supposed to begin filming. Now it's not going to begin filming until April of this year. And that's even if they begin to get started on it. That all depends on if these setbacks are going to be resolved by this February to March. And if they can pull that off, then they will be able to film by April. If not, it's going to be delayed again. And Disney's really not happy with that. A lot of the reshoots, that could happen from this could cost Disney millions of dollars. Now, moving beyond everything related to Kathleen Kennedy here, alright, we also know that Disney CEO Bob Chapek really wants to make sure that Lucasfilm will be in good hands so that the Star Wars fandom can have a lot of trust within the company. So, not only that, but this would this would actually be a temporary fit for George Lucas to act as president of Lucasfilm that is all set and ready to happen by Disney. Lucas is said to be 100% on board with this decision and has already been in the talks with Bob Chapek about the entire strategy. Now, further, it's described that they want Lucas in so that he can prepare for what the permanent fill-in as president is going to handle with Star Wars. This involves, tasks such as placing some Lucasfilm employees to do hiring work for new employees on creative levels that create a brand new atmosphere or workers over at Lucasfilm as a company. So that's another thing about Lucasfilm, is that they really need to clean house, and that's exactly what John and Dave are already doing with the projects. But there needs to be this new image of Lucasfilm. We need that image that it once was when George Lucas was there, right? And now when you think about Lucasfilm, you think all of the crazy actors on Twitter saying all the terrible things that they always say, whether they're CGI artists, graphic artists, actors like Freddie Prinze Jr., who, by the way, guys, I do not agree with in any way, shape, or form. Not a fan of him. He's said horrible things before in the past. He's a hothead. To tell you the truth, I think that he really needs to just keep to himself and just do his work, and that's it. But so far, I think that Lucasfilm has been pretty much overdue for a reframing, a total, cleaning house situation by Disney to really kind of just restructure the entire perception by the fans of how they think about the company, and that's a must-have right now. So, moving past this, alright, with Lucas, of all people, and after him, a permanent fill-in to replace Kathleen Kennedy by the end of this year into 2023 was supposed to happen in 2021. Unfortunately, this was slowed down drastically due to the board at Disney having a change of heart and becoming hesitant over that call. However, now since they have witnessed all the issues with the Acolyte series, that was all the proof that Disney needed to realize that they had to move forward with a new Lucasfilm president to replace Kathleen Kennedy. Regardless of her contract, Disney is looking to go through the obstacles to replace her by the end of this year, with Lucas filling in temporarily to prepare the third phase of Star Wars TV shows, and how they will all release before and after each other. This would also allow Lucas to make key decisions, to such as who is set to become the permanent fill-in for the president of Lucasfilm, which is the main reason why Disney wants Lucas in, so that they can have a trustworthy person to make the choice for the permanent president to take over. Now, here's the deal about this, alright? We already know that everything related to Lucasfilm as a company right now, so far so good. I mean, a lot of the TV shows are working out. People are liking the Book of Boba Fett. I realize that some people disliked it. That's fine and okay. But The Mandalorian Season 3, it's looking very positive. Everything that has been happening behind the scenes, it's going to be on a bigger budget. It's going to be more cinematic, more movie-like, and that's exactly what we want to see. Kenobi series, another prime example. It's going to be bigger, it's going to look very movie-like, bigger budget. Basically, each and every Star Wars TV show, it's like going upstairs. Each and every Star Wars TV show, every single step means a bigger budget. And that's why when you look at the Book of Boba Fett, it looks a little bit more professional at times, especially when you're going over to Tatooine, right? You can just see the cinematography and how it compares to specific shots of The Mandalorian. And that's because Robert Rodriguez, alright, really pushed John and Dave and people over at Disney to up the budget for this series. And that's when Disney got that idea that we got to keep upping it with each show. So overall, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know if you about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.